All right. Oh my goodness. Okay. So it has been a trial for the past week because my good webcam stopped working. And now today I have to use my computer's built-in webcam, which as you can see is kind of terrible and grainy, but we'll use it for today's workout. I might not save this on my channel because the quality is going to be garbage, but I'm hoping that it'll at least work for the live workout today. And then I need to call tech support and figure out what's going on with the other camera. It's a mess. It's been quite the week. Anyway, if you do my low impact workouts on the weekend, that is also why I was not able to post anything on Saturday, is my webcam didn't work. I had no way to record. Okay. Let's see. Gosh, I hope this works. This might be an interesting class today, folks. I apologize. My computer webcam, I think that'll be okay. Yeah. It doesn't give as full a view as the nice webcam. So yes, this will be interesting. This will be interesting. Today we're doing the same stuff as usual. So strength training, full body, focused on stabilization work. So high reps, lower weights or body weight mostly. All you will need are 2 light hand weights or 2 food cans, as I always use. And then everything else is just body weight. So should be fairly straightforward as per usual. I think that's it. Also, thank you for joining me at the new time. It's going to be at 10 a.m. Pacific going forward every week. So much better, at least for me, than the 5:30 time. So hopefully it works better for other folks as well. All right, let's get warmed up, starting with our arm circles. We're doing 10 arm circles back and 10 forward. Nice big movements. Oh, hang on, let me set my timer here to make sure that I don't go for like 2 hours because I talk so much. Okay, and then 10 forward when you're done with the 10 back. All right, going for some little rotations through the mid back. So nice wide stance, dropping down until you can touch the floor, and then rotating up to the side, alternating sides. We're going to do 5 on each side. And when you get to 5, stay in that wide leg stance. We're going to stay here and we're going to come down into some lateral lunges. Again, only coming as low as feels comfortable. So you can be up here, you can be down low, whatever feels good for you, but we're stretching out the hips and the insides of the legs. And same for this one, we'll do 5 on each side. Keeping the weight back over the heel. A lean forward is okay. When you get to 5, come back to standing. We're going to do some leg swings, so if you need to hang on to something for balance, go for it. Otherwise, hands can be anywhere they need to be, out to the sides, on the hips. And we're just letting that leg swing free for 10 swings. Don't try to control the movement. Just let it be like a pendulum. Just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. I won't sing any more of that song Everybody's sick of it. All right, when you get to 10 on one side, 10 on the other, make sure you're not in a position to whack your foot into something. All right, and then last little warm up for the legs. We'll do some knee pulls. So again, you can hang on to something and do all one side at a time if you need to have that balance. Otherwise, we're just grabbing the knee, pulling in towards the chest. Again, only pulling in as far as is comfortable for you. Whatever range of motion you have is fine. We're just stretching out the glutes, a little bit of release in the low back. You can see every time I pull, the low back kind of curves under. That's what we're looking for. Let's go for 8 on each side. And when you get to 8, you're done. Super quick warm up. So I said this last week, and I'll say it again. If you want to foam roll and have a little bit more of a stretch before these classes start, please do so. You can do anything on your own time. I just don't like to take too long with the warm up here because then the class ends up being like an hour and a half, which, you know, nobody really has time for that. So the little mobility drill at the beginning stays pretty quick, but you are welcome to do things beforehand. And then same for the cool down after the fact. Cool down is always really quick if you want to stretch more on your own afterwards. Totally good. Okay, we are going to start with our core. First one, super simple today. We're just doing sit-ups. Easy peasy. I'm going to time for 30 seconds, so you can time along with me if that's easier for you. If you want to time on your own, you can use whatever stopwatch function you have on whatever device you have. 3 sets of 30 seconds, standard sit-ups. So knees are going to be bent. You're trying to keep the feet in contact with the floor, but if they have to lift, that's okay. You can kind of give like a little boost. I tend to keep my hands in front of the chest on this one, here, as I roll up, just because that's more comfortable for me, but you can have them behind the head if you want to support your neck. Now, one quick note about these. Think of it as a roll up and roll down. So you're not trying to come down with a flat back because, that's really painful in the low back. So you're rolling up through the shoulders and then you're rolling back down, kind of like furling and then unfurling yourself. Excuse me. Just to make sure that you're protecting your back throughout the entire movement. All right, 30 seconds, first set. Whenever you're ready, 3, 2, 1, and go. Prop that up. You know, I've had this stopwatch for a long time, and it only just occurred to me that it has a purposely flat side so that you can set it down and prop it up and see it. And all this time, I've been trying to find ways to place it so that I can actually read it while I'm doing core. I feel a little bit silly for not noticing sooner. Slow and controlled, please. This is not a race. Last 3, 2, 1, and relax. All right, 30 seconds to rest, and then we head into the next round. Now, I know everybody taking these classes probably takes them on a regular basis, so I do repeat myself fairly often, but I'll say it again in case you're new. Rest breaks that I set are the rest breaks that I prefer. So if you want to take a longer or a shorter rest time in between sets, you have complete autonomy to do so. Oopsie. All right, let's go for round 2 if you're ready. Keep going. Yeah, everybody's body is different. I would recommend not taking too much more than a minute between sets just because your body cools down a certain amount and you don't want to be kind of starting cold when you head into another set. But if you need longer than 30 seconds, totally fine. If you're like raring to go before 30 seconds is up, go for it. We do 3 sets of everything, so you can kind of use that as the basis for timing. All right, take a break, 30 seconds to rest, and then we'll do one more set of these. And then moving on to our second core exercise. Just going to be a plank variation. I know everybody loves planks. Definitely let me know what you think of this morning time. I know because it's YouTube, it doesn't really matter because the workout's going to be here available whenever people need it. But all right, last round of these, and 3, 2, 1, and go. But yeah, 10 o'clock, better for the body, fits in with the circadian rhythm. Once you hit later in the evening, your body's already trying to shut down for sleep. Even if it's only like 4 o'clock, as soon as you feel that afternoon slump, that is the hormones that are telling your body to like start relaxing, kicking in. So from that point onward, messing with that by doing a workout is not ideal for sleep. Okay, that was the last set. Take a break. We're going into our plank variation next, so 30 seconds on this one too. Now this one, if you don't feel comfortable with this one, you can just do a regular plank and hold that regular plank for the duration of the 30 seconds. This one can be done on the hands or on the elbows. I'm going to be down on the elbows, but you can be in either place, whichever feels better for you. Regardless of where you are, if you're up on the hands, make sure the hands are staying right under the shoulders. If you're down on the elbows, make sure the elbows are staying right under the shoulders and that your forearms are staying parallel. So no clasping the hands. You want parallel forearms. So elbows right under the shoulders, feet out behind you, and then you're using your toes to push yourself forward and back. This is called a body saw because you're turning your body into a saw. You're like sawing a piece of wood. 30 seconds, making sure that the neck is staying nice and in line with the spine. Make sure your hips are not dropping too low. You don't want to lose your lower back to the plank. You want to keep that pelvis tucked under. All right, ready? And 3, 2, 1, and go. And again, these are not fast. Nice steady rhythm. Find a pace that feels good for you. Make sure you're breathing. We have 10 more seconds. And again, you can do 15 seconds or 20 seconds of the body saw and then just hold your plank. You can hold your plank the whole time. 3, 2, 1, and break. Whatever feels appropriate for what your body is telling you today. Tells us different things every single day. Some days you might have tons of energy, some days you might have no energy, especially during quarantine. It's a roller coaster. We don't know what is going to feel all right. So just listen. Always listen to your body. And going into round 2 in 3, 2, 1, and go. Ten seconds left. And 3, 2, 1, and break. All right. 30 seconds of rest, and then we got one more set before we head into our third and final core exercise. Just thinking about the whole listen to your body thing. As a trainer, I think one of the most important things to help clients find is that perfect balance of pushing yourself so that you are being challenged, but not pushing yourself past the point of actually being productive for your body. So recognizing that very fine line between doing like a little bit more than you normally would and then doing too much. All right, last set in 3, 2, 1, and go. Because it is healthy to push yourself. It really is. You want to challenge your muscles. You want to give them something new to think about. You're helping build new neural pathways in your brain. It is healthy. It is good. But if you go too far, you can really hike up your stress levels, even if you're not feeling it. And you can hurt yourself. And 3, 2, 1, and break. Or you can end up overtraining, which is really damaging for the body, especially for pretty much for everybody. But for anyone with a uterus or anyone who gets their period, one of the ways that you can tell that you're overtraining is if you lose your period for no apparent reason. That's often an indication of too much stress from too much working out. Okay, last core exercise that we're going to do. We're doing this leg extension with a little hand clap, hand tap, finger tap, whatever you want to call it, underneath. So it's kind of like a flutter kick, kind of not. So shoulders are off the ground. One leg lowers. Clap those hands under the higher leg. Other side, clap, clap. You don't actually have to clap, but you just want to touch your fingers under the leg. And again, nice and slow and controlled. You can have the legs straight if you want, or they can be bent like mine. They can be very bent if that feels better. Whatever feels right for your lower back. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's all we're doing. 30 seconds, 3 sets. And 3, 2, 1. Timer's running. Shoulders stay off the ground the whole time. Again, these are not fast. They're controlled. They're steady. Ten more seconds. And 3, 2, 1, and relax. Okay, 30 seconds of rest, then we're heading into our second set. This camera's not as terrible as I thought it was. The lighting is not great, but it's working. It's doing a thing. It's just very old. My computer is old. All right, go ahead and get ready for the second set. In 3, 2, 1. Shoulders up. And tap, tap, tap. There's our halfway point. Make sure you're breathing. And 3, 2, 1, and relax. We've got one more. And then the core is done. I still like getting it out of the way first. While energy levels are I always have trouble talking when I'm in these classes. When energy levels are still high-ish, higher, it's good to get core out of the way because it tends to warm our bodies up the most. In case you didn't notice, I am already sweating. Okay, last 3, 2, 1, and final 30 seconds here. And last 10 seconds. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And done. Bravo. Nicely done. Take a breather, grab water if you need it. Okay, we are starting our lower body off with some lateral leg raises. So you're going to be balancing on one leg. Feel free to hang onto the wall or a handy bookshelf or something similar if you need help with your balance. But I do encourage you to try it without, just to see how it feels. I've said this before, but generally, people's balance is better than they think it is. I think the inclination is to say, oh, my balance is terrible, but not necessarily. Give yourself the benefit of the doubt here. So balancing leg is gonna stay relaxed in the knee. So see how my knee's lapped out? No good, never do that. Relaxed. So your quad is taking the work and not the joint. The more stress you put on that knee, the worse it's gonna feel. And then the other leg is lifting out to the side. Now, I'm not too worried about height on here. Just go as high as you feel you can. You just wanna feel this area of your hip and sort of the side of the glute contracting as you lift. We're gonna go for 20 on each side, and we'll do 3 sets. So again, if you wanna time your own rest breaks, feel free to do so. You're also counting your own reps because I don't want you to be beholden to whatever pace I'm setting for myself. And I also very often forget to count because I start yammering and I lose track. So do not rely on me. Going for 20 on each side. If you have leg bands at home, you can put one around your ankles for this. Add a little bit of resistance. You're gonna feel some work happening in the standing leg too. That is perfectly normal. And then when you finish on one side, going for 20 to 0 on the other. Try to keep the upper body nice and upright, shoulders back, chest open. And when you get to 20 on the other side, take a break. Again, make sure these are not fast. They should be slow and controlled. The more slowly you go, the slower you go, the more control your muscles have to exert to control the pace. Because anybody can just kind of swing their leg out. That's easy. You can rely on momentum. But to really get the muscle work in there, slow. All right, take a break. Now, because the second leg is going to feel a little bit harder because it was supporting during the first leg, I would recommend starting on the other side on round 2 so that you're not always putting the extra stress on one leg over the other. That's just my recommendation. You can do whatever feels good for you. We are heading into round 2. I'm heading into round 2 right now, starting with my left leg raising out, since that's where I finished last time. And when you get to 20 on one side, go ahead and switch. It's very quiet. Hopefully you have music playing at home. All right, when you get to 20 on the other side, take a break. I don't know about you, but my side butt's feeling this. So in these lateral leg raises, we are working the abductors, A-B, like Eliza Brinton abductors. That's kind of like the overall term, the umbrella term for the muscles that help control the outward movement of your hips, and then adductors are on the inside, but abductors are out here. So that's what we're working. It includes some hips and some glutes and all that good stuff, but it is really good for your hips if you sit down all day. Lateral movement is not something that we as humans do a whole lot, so it is handy. Okay, going for our last round. You can start on either side. I'm going to start on the side that I did for round one, just to keep things switching back and forth. Last 20 on each side. We're doing some lunges after this. I know y'all are excited. My allergies are acting up today. It's been really, really warm here in the Bay Area, starting yesterday, just about. So I left my windows open last night and woke up all gross. But I'm not complaining. I will take the sunshine and the clear air. When you get to 20 on one side, we're going to switch to the other. This is the last round. And when you get to 20, take another break. All right, shake it out. There should be some stuff being felt in those hips. Okay, we are moving into some curtsy lunges, which are actually going to be working a very similar area, sort of outside of the glutes, and then some quad as well. So if you feel that a little bit tomorrow and the next day, that is why. Now, I prefer to do these not on my mat. So I'm actually, let me roll this up this way. There we go. We'll come back to that later. But our curtsy lunges differ from regular lunges in that if you've ever looked at like whatever medieval culture, whenever people used to curtsy, it's basically a curtsy. So instead of going straight back into the lunge, your leg is stepping back at a diagonal. So think like back towards the back corner of the room and then dropping down from there and then stepping front. So your forward foot, the toe is staying pointing straight ahead, and then the back toe is going to be at an angle. Now from the side, you can see that the front leg is maintaining a square right angle as I come down. So you want to not step back too shallow because then that knee is going to press way forward. And then if you step too far back, it's going to be really uncomfortable to try to come back to your standing position. So you want to pick sort of a middle distance down and up. As you come up out of the curtsy lunge, the work is happening in that stable front leg. So you can push off the back toes a little bit, but try not to shift your weight into that back leg. You want to stay pretty balanced over the front leg. We are doing 12 on each side. We're doing all one side at a time. So stepping back here, back here, back here, kind of like a little dance. And then other side, back, back. Again, you are counting on your own at home because I am unreliable. So please, whenever you're ready, proceed. Shoulders and chest, nice and upright and open as you step back and down. If you have weights at home that you want to use, go for it. You never have to do body weight if you have weight that you want to take advantage of. So if you have dumbbells or kettlebells, they can just kind of hang out at the sides on this one. And if your knees are a little bothersome, just don't come down this low. You can do a nice shallow lunge or do a regular lunge so you don't have that torque that twist in the knee. And then when you're done with your 12 on one side, go ahead and switch to the other side. Sorry, I'm doing these at a weird angle because my space is limited. This is my entire living room. And so I kind of have to fit them where I can, but I think you can still get the gist. So as you come down to the bottom of that lunge, if you're still feeling the work from the last exercise, you should feel that spot, that same spot from the hip, the lateral raises. You should feel it kind of stretching and then working. It should feel good. And when you get to 12 on your other side, I'm going to take a break. I am taking 30 seconds, as always, and then we'll head into round 2. And on this one, you don't really have to alternate which side you start on. It doesn't make a massive amount of difference. You can if you want to keep it interesting, but it is not vitally important. We've got 2 more sets of those. We've got some wall sits coming up because we haven't done those in a while. All right, round 2. When you're ready, 12 per side. Try not to let your back knee touch the floor as you come down. It should hover. And when you get to 12 on one side, go ahead and switch directly into the other. And then when you're done with the 12 on that side, take another breather. All right. Last 30 seconds for me. And then we're heading into our wall sits. Our wall sits. They're gonna feel super duper fun after all the leg work we've already done. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be quad fire. It's gonna be wonderful. All right, going into our last set of curtsy lunges. Whenever you're ready, you may begin. My toes are squeaking on the floor. I apologize for any weird noises. And then when you're finished with your 12 on one side, going into our last 12. I guess I can fit these going this way. And then when you get your 12 in on that side, take a break, shake the legs out, take a moment to recover, grab water if you need it, towel off if you need to. I'm definitely sweating a bit. Okay, so for our wall sit, exactly what it sounds like. If you've never done one before, it is basically like you're pretending to sit in a chair, but there's no chair, just the wall to support your back, and then your legs are supporting themselves. So find any bare spot on the wall. I'm going to use this kind of awkward, to get my begonia plant has become a massive monster and is taking over my window space. So any spot on the wall where you can fit your back, and then your legs are going to be down at a right angle. So heels and ankles right under the knees. You want to be essentially flat, so you could keep something like resting on your thighs like a tray and it wouldn't fall off or tip. And then you're just hanging out here for 30 to 45 seconds. I'm going to go for 45 seconds. I'll call out the 30-second mark if you want to stop there. Actually, I'll call out the 20-second mark too. So you have 20, 30, 45 for options, or you can time at home as well. The goal is to make sure that as you're sitting, your whole back is pressed into the wall. So you don't want your back to be arched away. You want nice tuck through the tailbone, which will ensure that your core is engaged. You don't want your shoulders slumping forward. You want them to be fully in contact. So you basically want to feel that your whole spine is pressed back into that wall. All right. Whenever you're ready, get in position and timer is on. Make sure your feet are at least hip width apart. You do not want them super narrow on this. Please trust me on that. You will be miserable if they are. And then just go to your happy place. Take some nice deep breaths. You can rest your hands on your legs if you want to. It takes a little bit of the pressure off. You can kind of push, but I don't super encourage it. There's 30 seconds. Sorry, I forgot to call out 20. 35. If you're hanging in for 45, bear with me. And 3, 2, 1, take a break. They're a little bit awkward to get out of, I know. Okay, take a breather. We're going to do that again, and then we're going to do that again, and then the legs are going to be done. Figuratively and literally. I don't know how many of you are plant parents out there, but I have noticed since being home all the time during quarantine, my plants are having a field day. They are just literally eating up all this CO2 I'm exhaling all over them. And some of them have become, like my begonia, full-blown monsters. You can't see properly, but trust me, it is enormous. Okay, going for round 2. Get in position, and timer's on. Try to keep the weight towards your heels. If your heels and ankles are firmly under your knees, that should not be difficult. If you can put weight in your toes, you'll know that your feet are in the wrong position because it will feel really uncomfortable to shift if they're correctly placed. You should be able to just see your toes past your knees here. Okay, 30 seconds went by about 5 seconds ago. Again, apologies. I told you I'm unreliable at keeping count. There's 3, 2, 1, and break. It's because I talk too much. We know this. It's no secret. All right, last break. Try to keep moving around a little bit so that your muscles don't just tighten up or cramp. You want to keep things warm, keep the blood flowing and pooling in the legs for now. Before we move on to the upper body, got a little bit more time to rest, and then we're going into our last set of wall sits. Okay, final one. This one's gonna feel like a doozy, so just bear with it. Go ahead and get in position. Timer is, come on. All right, I really will call out the times this time. I'm looking at the stopwatch so that I don't forget. There's 10 seconds. So far, so good. There's 20 seconds. There's 30 seconds. 35. 40. Almost there, almost there. Last 3, 2, 1. And done. Beautiful work, folks. Give yourself a pat on the back. Grab water. Relax for a moment. I am bringing my mat back. If you have moved yours, go ahead and grab it again. We're going to be down on the ground for some rocking push-ups. I don't mean rocking like rock and roll. Rocking as in the actual physical movement of rocking. Okie dokie. So, for this one is good for some scapular mobility, aka shoulder blade mobility. So this is going to be a push-up from the knee because you're going to be starting in essentially a child's pose position. So you want your hands slightly wider than shoulder width because you want to leave room for your body as you come forward. Drop down into a push-up and then press back. Things to keep in mind with this, as you're coming into your push-up, do not lose your core and let the lower back take any stress. So you're keeping that tailbone tucked under. Think about sort of like I always say, the pooping dog, little under tuck through the pelvis, shoulder blades are pushed back, and then you're maintaining that as you come down and then press back. So you're pressing back in between every single push-up. This one is going to hit the triceps a little bit more than the pecs, but it will hit the pecs as well. Pecs for your chest, tricep along the back of the arm, and then you've got that rocking motion to kind of fire up your shoulder blades and get some mobility going in there. I'm going to do 12 of these. You can do as many as you want to do or as few. If 12 feels like too little, go for broke, go for 20. If 12 is unreasonably high, do less, do fewer. Just play around with it and see what feels good. If these just don't feel good, you can do wall push-ups or push-ups on the edge of a countertop or just regular push-ups on the knees instead. Any kind of push-up motion is fine. But I do encourage you to try the rocking push-ups. I personally love them. It's kind of a nice push-up variation that gives you this little child's pose rest in between every single one. Okay, whenever you're ready, you may begin. Try not to let your head drop as you come down into your push-up. That neck is going to stay in line with the spine. Don't let the shoulders come up around the ears. Think about exhaling as you push up and back. And when you hit 12, take a breather, a well-earned rest for yourself. We've got 2 more sets of those, and then we're moving into 2 upper body exercises that will need your cans or your light hand weights, whatever you're using. So make sure you have those on hand. I would say 5 pounds or less for weight on those, unless you're super duper strong and you want to do more, but we're doing high reps, so I would encourage you to keep it light. Okay, round 2. When you're ready, going for our next set. here, 12. Take a breather. I'm gonna grab a little water. We got one more set, and then we're moving on. Let the heart rate come down a little bit. I didn't time this rest break, but that's okay. I'm counting in my head, taking about 30 to 40 seconds between these. Muscles in the arms are smaller than the muscles in the legs. So yeah, more fatigue. Less energy exerted, but definite fatigue. Okay, last set when you're ready. And when you're done, you're done. All right. I'm getting rid of my mat. We are done with being on the floor. So if you want to clear a space, I personally don't like standing on my mat because I feel like my feet are just making it gross. But you can keep your mat if you would like. We're going to be grabbing our hand weights and we're doing some T raises, which are going to be bent over, kind of like a reverse fly, but we're going for a straight arm on this one and less momentum. So we're working on the posture muscles, again, thinking about shoulder blade mobility, really working on the muscles that help retract those shoulder blades. So if you're a computer/desk person and you're sitting all day and you're here in this posture, sorry, I'm taking a moment to nerd out while you rest. You're in this posture all day with the shoulders forward and the back rounded. These muscles here, your pectorals, your chest muscles, are gonna get tight because they're shortened, because they're crunched forward. They're gonna get really tight. And then all of the muscles on the upper back and between the shoulder blades are gonna get really weak because they're not doing anything to keep you upright. So the other end of that is people who try to keep too upright and they end up with this exaggerated arch in the back where the glutes are not doing any work and the core is too weak because it's all stretched out, and then the middle of the back gets really, really tight and uncomfortable. So the perfect medium is to have the shoulders back, shoulder blades engaged, but to have the glutes engaged so your butt's not sticking way out. It's a little bit tucked under, core is engaged. That's what we're looking for with correct posture. So what this exercise does is it squeezes back through the shoulder blades and it helps those muscles that might be rounding forward and getting too long and weak as you're sitting all day and kind of help pull them back. So our lean forward, we're looking for a flat back. So pretend that there's a door behind you and you're trying to shut it with your butt. So you're just pressing back through the hips. Knees are not locked out. They're staying bent over the ankles. And you see how the spine is nice and straight. So back is not slumped forward. Shoulder blades are engaged. Arms are nice and long in front. And then we're lifting up from the front here into a T position. And then nice and controlled back down, lifting up into that T and controlled back down. So to compare to the reverse fly, we're not doing this. We are controlling the entire movement with a perfectly straight arm. So you should feel big retraction in the shoulder blades. Let's aim for 15 to 20 on these. Whenever you're ready, getting that lean forward, arms hanging in front, and then raising and squeezing. Don't let the head drop, neck stays in line with the spine, core is engaged, glutes are engaged. Million things to think about, I know. But it comes with practice, trust me. there is a certain point that you hit where your body will just start to do things on its own. And this is why training in a very specific phased approach is super important. That's why personal trainers are really helpful in most cases, because the initial phase of training is always about increasing your mind muscle awareness and your body's awareness of how all the muscles are working together and how it is working in the space around it, which is kind of the phase that we're doing now. We've circled back around. So it's really good for joint stabilization. It's really good for balance. It's really good for your core. It's really good for your perception of how your body moves, and it sharpens your brain. It really, really does. It's called proprioception, is the official term. All right, when you get to 15, if you feel like 15 is enough, you can stop there. If you don't, keep going and aim for 20. I think I just did about 18, and that feels right for me, so I'm going to stop there. Take a break. We have 2 more sets of those, and then we just have 1 more exercise for the upper body, and then we're done. How are we doing on time? Yes, we're doing great. Excellent. Okay, let's go for round 2. Solid lean forward and lifting and squeezing. You might feel this in the backs of the shoulders too, and that's A-okay. Those are also posture muscles that you would definitely want to hone and strengthen. I say hone with an H, not tone with a T, because if you ever hear somebody saying they want to tone up, that is a misuse of the word tone. I don't know where that started, but toning your muscles has nothing to do with making your muscles stronger. It's a very interesting slip of the tongue that has come about over the years. If you actually look it up in a medical context, it is entirely different. Pet peeve number 1 million about toxic fitness culture. Stupid terminology. All right, when you finish your set, take a break. We got 1 more of those. Ooh, yeah, I'm feeling that one. If you do a couple shoulder rolls back, you should be able to feel that whole shoulder blade area should be feeling like it's done a thing. It's done a thing or two. It's a good thing. 1 more. Okay, let's do it. Last one. Pressing back through the hips. Nice flat back. And raise. You can stop at 15 or keep going to 20. Whatever feels right for you. And when you're done, take a break. All right, our last exercise is going to be timed we're doing some arm circles, not like the ones we do in warm-up. Well, sort of, but we're doing tiny arm circles. So I will be timing for 30 seconds on my handy dandy stopwatch. If you want to time at home for a different amount of time, you are more than welcome to do so. You might want more, you might want less. That's absolutely fine. I'm going to do these with cans, but you do not have to do these with your weights. You can do these without weight. But basically, the movement that we're looking for is arms out straight. I'll come a little bit forward so you can see. And you can pick either forward or backward, but you want to keep these circles small and at a faster pace. Nice and steady movement. Little circles with the fingertips. And we're going to do that for 30 seconds. You can also, again, you can do these forward. From the side, you can see shoulder blades are back and engaged, and the core is engaged. So I know it's hard to tell if you have a bit of a butt because your lower back is going to look like it has a curve anyway. But if I let my core go, you can see the difference there. So core is engaged. Tiny circles with the arms. Again, you can just do these body weight. Trust me, they catch up to you. If it doesn't feel like it's doing much within the first 10 seconds, wait until 20 seconds, 30 seconds, you'll feel it. But if you want to try them with weight, I'm doing them with my bean cans. Got my kidney beans and my, what are these? Black beans. All right, so when you're ready, 3, 2, 1, timer's on. I'll keep an eye on it. And again, either direction is fine. Small circles, keeping the shoulder blades engaged. You can also do one set in one direction, the next set in the next direction. Pick the direction that feels better for the third set. It's all working the shoulders. It's all okay. I might do more than 30 seconds. I'll give you the 30-second heads up, but I feel like I can keep going here. All right, so there's 30 seconds there. I'm going to keep going towards 40. And 3, 2, 1, there's 40. I might regret that, but it felt good. It felt okay. Okay, 30 seconds of rest before we head into the next set, or longer if you're taking longer at home. We're almost there, folks. Almost there. I'm really glad that this camera is not as much of a failure as I was expecting it to be. And then hopefully I can get the good one fixed for Saturday. I hope. Alrighty. Round 2 in 3, 2, 1. And timer's on. I'm going to go forward on this one, just for ish and giggles. Make sure the shoulders are not creeping up around the ears. So from here, you don't want to be up here. Make sure they're down. So if you're not sure, like if you can't tell, just do that. Exaggerate the movement and then drop it. And you should get a significant drop through the shoulders. All right, there's 30 seconds there. I'm going to keep going towards 40. And 3, 2, 1, and relax. Good. Now, if you're trying both forward and backward, you'll notice that, yes, they are both working the shoulders. If you're going backward, it's working a little bit more the back of the shoulder. If you're going forward, it's working a little bit more in the front of the shoulder. Makes sense, right? So I will let you choose, again, whichever one you want to do. It doesn't make a massive difference. If the backs of your shoulders are really tired from the exercises we did before this, you might want to go forward and just ease up off of them a little bit. But if you really want to get into those suckers, go backwards. Okay, this is our last set, and then we're going to cool down quickly in 3, 2, 1. Timer's running. Nice, small circles. You can pretend that you have a paintbrush in each hand, and you're just repeatedly painting circles on the walls. There's 30 seconds. I am continuing on to 40. If you want to stay with me, I'll let you know when we hit 40 in 3, 2, 1, and there it is. All right. Bravo. Nicely done, folks. Nicely done. Grab a sip of water. Take a moment to breathe, and then let's cool down, shall we? Let's start with a nice wide leg, and then just dropping forward towards the floor. Let the head hang, let everything relax. Don't worry about which direction your toes are pointing. It doesn't matter right now. You can kind of shift the hips back and forth to loosen up that inner groin area. That might feel a little bit tight. Again, if you're sitting all day, you might be losing mobility in your hips. It's good to stretch them on a regular basis. Okay, we're going to walk the hands over to the left leg and use your hands to kind of pull your chest towards the leg and hang out here for a few seconds. And then coming over to the other side, grab that right leg, pull yourself towards it. Your chest doesn't actually have to touch your leg. I am not flexible. My chest is nowhere close to my leg. You just want to aim in that general direction. And then come on back up to standing. Clasping the hands behind the back. You're going to pull back, stretch that chest forward. This should get the fronts of the shoulders and your chest. You can kind of hike the hands up behind you to get an additional stretch there. It should feel pleasant. And then opposite, clasping the hands in front and pressing back. So go ahead and round that upper back. All right, last one. Grabbing right above the elbow. Pull forward across the chest, keeping the elbow bent. Make sure that you're not pulling the elbow itself. This is gonna nice stretch along the back of the arm and the back of the shoulder. About 15 to 30 seconds is how long you want to hold your stretches. And then other side, same thing, right above the elbow, keeping a little bit of bend in that arm. Overstretching is just as dangerous as understretching, if not more so. So if you're holding a stretch for like 2 minutes, it's not good. Your muscles are unhappy. Okay, you folks are done. I appreciate so much your attendance today. I know today is the first day that the time was different, so it's going to take a little bit of adjustment. I know the camera is not ideal. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to get it fixed. I blamed it on my camera software. It stopped working. Anyway, hopefully, if all goes well, I will have more low impact cardio out this weekend. Again, that class is not live stream. It's just an uploaded video, but should be back with that. And then next Wednesday, whatever's happening with the technology, we'll still do the live stream, 10 a.m. Pacific time, every Wednesday going forward. And I hope to see you there. As always, please like, please subscribe, please leave comments if you have specific requests for things you want to do in the videos. We don't always have to do what I do. So if there's stuff that you want to work on, let me know and we can work on it. Hopefully I will see you next week. Stay safe, stay well, eat good food, get good rest, drink water. That's it. I will see you next week. Have a good day.